Good morning friends and welcome to the pre-market view. Global markets have taken a pause after a rally of almost about 3 to 4 days. US was down about 0.25%, Nasdaq in fact was flat. Europe too was down about 0.5 to almost about 1.25%. And when we look at the Asian markets today morning, Japan is also down about 1%, Hang Seng is down almost about 1.4%, and most of the other Asian markets are down about 0.5 to 0.75%. The key drivers for this fall have been two. One is that the political developments in Egypt have actually turned worse in the last 2 or 3 days, and there is a large scale protest which is going on against the current regime, and that could actually cascade into a bigger geopolitical uncertainty, and which is reflected in the way the crude price has shot up to 105. Also, we have seen that the manufacturing data, PMI manufacturing data that came out from China was on a weaker side at about 52.5 odd against 54.5. So there is a clear indication of slowdown in China, and with the geopolitical uncertainty, there is some nervousness in the global markets, which is what is reflected in the way some of these markets are trading right now. Talking about the flows, we've seen some slowdown in the flows over the past few sessions. So in yesterday's market, two FIs were net sellers to the tune of about 148 odd crore. Domestic institutions were also sellers to the tune of about 120 odd crore. And in the index futures, we have seen selling of almost about 180 to 200 odd crore. And we saw some weakness in our markets as well yesterday, with some of the sectors which had run up quite a bit, like oil and gas, auto. Some of the banks saw some amount of weakness, and today morning when we look at the SGX Nifty, it's also suggesting that we are going to have a negative start to the tune of almost about 65 points. So Nifty is going to open around 5800 odd level. On that note, let me invite Shaival to take us through important F&O cues, data and strategies that we can have in the F&O markets.
Good morning friends, let's have a view at derivatives. Friends, from past couple of trading sessions, we have been seeing that the markets have inched higher but is not able to surpass the mark of 5,900. Now, having looked at the activity on the put and call side, the PCR ratio is unchanged at 1.12, and we've also seen some short positions being squared off in yesterday's trade. Now, talking about the FIs activity, FIs were net sellers of more than 900 crore in yesterday's trade, and we've also seen on the options front that 5,800 call option as well as put option has seen a good amount of activity in terms of open interest, and 5,800 put option also stands with the highest number of shares in the open interest. Whereas if we have a look on the call side, 6,000 call option stands with highest number of shares, that is almost 61 lakh shares. Whereas 5,900 call option is the immediate strike, wherein next highest number of shares in the open interest stands, but the addition is almost negligible, that is 0.89 in yesterday's trade, and we have seen that markets are not able to surpass this level. So now as 5,800 put option stands with the highest number of shares in the open interest, and we have also witnessed a good amount of activity on the call side, we feel that this level, that is 5,800 on closing basis, might act as a good support. Although SGX Nifty is suggesting a gap down opening near 5,800, so we feel this would be an important level. And as we are trading above weekly VWAP, our bias for the market remains positive. And from intraday perspective, friends, we feel Union Bank is looking weak, so one can go short with stop loss of 188.60. Thank you.
Here are the important news and events that we are tracking today. First of all, the Telecom Commission backs 100% FDI in telecom. Given the pressure that we have seen in the rupee, there is also pressure on the cabinet for clearing this FDI, and there are a couple of hurdles to be cleared before finally we get a go-ahead for this 100% FDI, and if that happens, it could definitely be a big positive for some of the companies which are reeling under pressure right now, particularly Bharti, Arcom. Idea has been doing relatively better, but for the entire sector, this could prove to be a positive trigger. So watch out for some action in the telecom space over the next few days. The panel of ministers on the divestment have cleared the Hindustan Copper divestment, and the price is likely to be at about 3.2% discount to the previous close of about 72.35. But given the kind of sentiment which is prevailing in the market towards PSU stocks, we think that this particular offer may not evoke good response from the investors. Jindal Steel and Power is looking at investing about 24,000 crore by 2014-15 to complete its ongoing expansion and start work on the next phase of capacity addition. So watch out for some positive action in Jindal Steel and Power, which has been reeling under pressure for the past many trading sessions. And for Coal India, some positive news as the company has got the government's go ahead for allocation of the Chhindwara mine. So some positive news for Coal India in today's market. There are reports that the FDI policy for multi-brand retail could be toned down with the sourcing norms for SMEs could be eased, and only 50% of the investment could be required in the back-end infrastructure. So this is a bit of a relief for the FDI in retail, and Mahindra is looking at launching about 10 models in the next 2 years, which is not a big news for Mahindra as such. Coming to the stock specific news, some positive news for Arcom as its DTH operations could be sold to Sun TV at a price of about 2,500 crore. This news came earlier also, but we think that once we have some more confirmation of this, there could be some positive reaction by the Arcom stock. One can go long on Arcom with a stop loss of 128.3 and a target of about 135 to about 138. L&T has got about 1,000 crore order for building a paraxylene plant for a refinery. So one can go long on L&T with a stop loss of 1,405 and a target of about 1,475 to about 1,490. ONGC, some negative news as the company has lost the Khasgan oil field, and also there are some reports that the subsidy burden for the ONGC and the upstream companies could be higher, though the gas price has been hiked. So there could be a negative reaction in ONGC on account of that. So one can short it with a stop loss of 329 and a target of about 312 to about 305. That's it from all of us, friends. Have a great trading session. See you tomorrow at the same time.